Please welcome to the stage Elena Pirionova.
Yes, I would first like to say a big thank you to Stony Brook Film Festival that invited me here. It's great. Thank you so much. It's such an honor for me to be here.
So you can raise your hands to ask questions, and also remember you can tweet your questions to #SBFF. So do we have any questions from our audience at this time? Yes, sir. So the question is, where did you get the idea for the story?
Yeah, well, basically, as you saw, I come from Bulgaria, but I studied in Estonia. So Bulgaria and Estonia are very different, right? One is more in the south, another is kind of in the north. And in a sense, I got inspired by the weather. And I was really hoping to have this snowy weather there, which didn't really happen. I had to cancel the shoot 1 year just because there was no snow. It was that bad. And then eventually next year, yeah, well, there was a bit of a snow, and you can see it's not so snowy. And then, you know, it ended up being a bit of a film about global warming as well, which was, well, initially in the plans as well. But yeah, well, the idea is because I got inspired by the fairy tale, and I've always been into fairy tales and yeah, the story about a girl that is comes to life and then just dies. It's you know, a story about the transience of life is yeah, that's what inspired me. Yep.
So we have a question from Twitter, and the actual question is, was it hard for the actress to be chomping on the ice all that time? But I was also just even wondering about the whole makeup process and everything she went through for the shoot as well.
Yeah, sure. It's we did quite a few tests, makeup tests, and actually it's really funny because initially I wanted a very young actress for this film. I wanted a 16, 15-year-old girl, and I had a huge cast, and eventually the girl that you see on screen, she is about 33, 4, and well, she's not here, so she doesn't hear that. I'm sorry. And yeah, well, yeah, of course, chewing on ice, but it's normal. I mean, it's actor's life. Yeah, it's not an easy one.
Yes, back there. The question is, does the fairy tale have as happy of an ending as your film does?
Actually, the story is a combination between the original fairy tale, which has various different endings, and as well Ostrovsky's play with the same name. Well, it never has a completely happy ending. I don't think this film also has like a 100% happy ending. But no, it's different. We changed it. We had a this ending is funny because it came from the actors, and because we worked very tightly together, and I had very different possible endings, and this is one of the endings that we kind of came up with together.
Yes, ma'am. You had a question back there? How long did it take to make and produce this film?
Quite a while, actually. It was a very complicated film to make because I'm not Estonian. Estonia is a great country. I love it, but it's a very small country. So, and you know, as I'm from a different country, it's a bit more complicated to get into it. So, it took me about two years to make this film, more or less 2.5 years, 3 maybe even. I mean, it depends on if you're counting the writing process as well, which was pretty long.
We have a question way in the back there. Bringing what into the film? Okay. She loved the use of the magical realism and wondered why you brought modernism into that as well.
Yeah, well, I think magical realism is about that. You have it has in its word it has magical realism, so you would have both. And I'm pretty fond of, as you can see myself, of magical realism. Well, Maslenica was an inspiration for the. Well, it had actually initially. That's why I mentioned Ostrovsky's play earlier as well. It does have a sort of a reflection of Maslenica and this whole tradition of burning the doll. And actually, it, as a symbol, it also reflects, you know, the dying of Snegurочка also reflects the coming of life, of the coming of spring in a way, fertility. So, you know, that's the reason why Maslenica is there, because this is part of a, yeah, part of a story for me.
We have time for just a few more questions. Yes, ma'am. The question is, why was it filmed in Estonia and not Bulgaria?
Well, I studied in Estonia, and yes, this is actually my graduation film from the Poetic Film and Media School. So yeah, that's the reason. And also, Estonia has a big Russian population. So yeah, I've worked very closely with the Russian actors, and actually the actress, she's Estonian, but as you can see, the rest of the people are yeah, well, Russian actors.
Yes, one question right here. What was the response of the film at your school and where it was shown?
Well, you know, it was a very, very good response. They were pretty impressed by the production quality and the whole quality of the film, because it's very rare that a foreigner managed to make such a big film in the school. Yeah, and you know what was great about it is that I had a screening also with the crew and with the kids, and the response of the kids was pretty good. It was people, you know, they really liked it. And for me, that was the most precious thing. Yeah.
It was delightful. Elena Perionova, thank you.